everybody, and welcome to another episode of Between the Sheets here on United Broadcasting on Facebook. Hold on. I think I have so much music going on. This is like the second time I've done this. I'm retarded. I tell everyone turn their phones off, but I'm the only one who doesn't do it. Yeah. So welcome here. It is the first Friday in March, if you haven't figured out. We have Tony playing with knobs over there. Hey. What knobs? No, you're not. Tony wouldn't touch any of our knobs. He doesn't play on my team. So, but we have some amazing people in the house tonight. We have Mara Shane.
Hello.
Cheryl Murphy's back from her psychic travels.
My gosh.
We have Cara Noble.
She's been in India.
I know. I want to go there so bad. We have two lovely guests here tonight. We have Margie Duran, and I'll tell you a little bit about her in a bit. She is my masseuse. She does gua sha, cupping, and available to come to your house too. And then, you just saw her if you didn't watch the show before me. She is on this network too. She is amazing. I'm going to read just her little bio very quickly. She's an internationally acclaimed intuitive medium who has been stunning audiences for decades with her gift to connect to the spirit world. She's starring on Reading Queens with Char Margolis on WOW, Presents Plus. She has her weekly radio web show right here on United Broadcasting Network, right before mine, every Friday, except I'm not on every Friday. She is. And Char Vision. And she explores all things metaphysical, spiritual, and paranormal. So if you haven't checked her out, you know how to get here. Try checking her out. She's amazing. And she's a celebrity. She's been on Dr. Phil, The Dr. Oz Show, and The Today Show. I want to welcome in our studio, which is her studio, Char Margolis.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And what's the baby's name?
It's such an honor to be here. Sonny Margolis.
Sonny.
My dog.
Sonny, very well behaved.
Margolis. He's such a good boy.
He's adorable.
And sitting in the corner, and they never like to be noticed, whether it's managers or publicists, is a very good friend of mine. She's the one who sort of made this happen with Char. Right. I've known her for a very long, long time, even though we're only 25. And that is one of my favorite people in this town is Gina Rugolo. So thank you, Gina.
Yay, Gina.
Hi, Gina.
Yeah, Gina.
Gina.
I always
Love
have to do that. I know she's blushing right now in the corner, going shaking her head, going, "God damn it!" So, Char has a book, and you have to buy it. I mean, I read briefly through it because it's been an insane week. It's called "The Universe Is Calling You," and it's on Amazon.
Thank you. Yeah, it's on Amazon. It's on BarnesandNoble.com, and it should be at your local bookstore as well.
Well, the coolest part is, one of the coolest parts, because there's many, is the forward is done by one of my people, RuPaul. So this should be interesting.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
Right?
And I just
sweet.
love
a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I just
He's
love this.
such a doll.
He's a real, and I worked with him on a show that we won't talk about. But
Okay.
I love this that you have. It's called Connecting with Essence.
Right.
To live with power and positive energy, love, and power.
Right.
I really love that, and I think.
Thank you.
And I want to start with because. I actually never do notes, but I had to do notes for this one.
Wow.
I know. I usually
I'm honored.
No, don't be honored. I just didn't want to sound like a blithering idiot, which will happen anyway, no matter.
No.
But it's, discovering true self, connecting to essence. My question is, what is essence?
Okay, so essence is that the energy that connects all of us with goodness, love, God, and the universe. And you might call it your spirit, your soul. It's that energy that we are all made of that makes us all one. And our goals in life are to elevate our souls to a point where we keep having different lifetimes where we're reincarnated and we keep learning our lessons, because life is a school and we're here to learn lessons. Mm-hmm. And that we keep getting reincarnated, so we all end up in the power of oneness, of love, goodness, and that is our essence, because that's the purity that we all want to be, right?
Right, absolutely.
Right.
I mean, that's what I think we've had many. The show started out as something else, and it really has been just guided. Something's guiding me to have it be more spiritual, because in this time now. We do need positivity. We do need love.
We need it.
What's going on right now just with the election and all that, even animosity within the Democratic Party. And I don't want to get political, don't
it's
get
so
me wrong.
toxic.
But it is so toxic. And it's like the universe is either like wanting for me, the toxic, it's like a volcano ready to erupt.
I agree.
And it's like just weird because everybody right now, the normalcy is toxicity.
Yeah, and the other thing is that people don't feel peaceful because every time we turn on the media, there's breaking news, and there's all these negative things that are going on, and unfortunately, negative energy attracts negative energy, and fortunately, positive energy attracts positive energy. So it's up to us to band together to find some positive energy in our world.
It's true. It's like light attracts light, dark attracts dark.
It's true.
Now, the thing is like essence. I also saw about intuition.
Right. We all have intuition. Animals have instinct. People have intuition. It's that time in your life where you wanted something. Maybe it was a business deal. Maybe it was a romance. And your gut feeling says don't do it, but you go and you do it anyway, and you suffer the consequences because you were warned. Your gut told you not to do it, but you did it anyway. But that's how we learn our lessons. Or maybe you did listen and you avoided problems in your life. But I always say when you use logic, common sense, and intuition, you get your best answers. So we all are intuitive. And my goal is to teach everybody to be intuitive, everybody to listen to their instincts, because I don't believe in gurus. Because as Jean Houston said, guru is just as it's spelled, G-U-R-U.
Right.
Yeah.
You are your own guru, right?
Right.
And it's good to listen to your own higher self, your own higher calling.
Right.
Right.
But
right. And we can help each other if we're too emotionally involved, we can help each other with guiding each other.
Well, there's been times in my life where I felt that feeling like this doesn't feel good, but somehow, for some reason, I've overridden it. Something has overridden it.
Well,
It's almost like you have to go through this whether you like it or not, bitch.
Right. But
Keep marching on.
We all have guardian angels and spirit guides, and there's lessons that we're supposed to learn this time around. So we hopefully don't make those mistakes again.
But how do you tap into that? I mean, I know there's the intuition and we have the spirit guides, and a lot of people are closed off to that.
I do intuition retreats actually in Palm Springs, California. But here's the thing. Like the example I just gave you, I call it being psychic at random, being intuitive at random. You're in your busiest part of your day and something says, call your mother, call your friend, call your child, whatever. And they go, oh my God, I was just going to call you. I left the stove on. Please turn it off, or whatever it is. And then there's psychic on demand, which is what your name's Carolyn?
Cheryl.
Oh, Cheryl. I'm sorry. Cheryl does. And then what I do, where you literally feel people's energy and you let your mind go blank and you allow their messages to come through you to share with them to help guide them in their lives.
Wow. But you said you've had this since you were a kid.
I did. I knew things when I was like 4 years old. My dad took me grocery shopping and I said, Daddy, that lady cheated us. My mother would look at the bill when we got home and lo and behold, they charged us too much money. So 2 weeks later, my mom took me out. I was an obese kid. I love hamburgers and hot dogs and French fries. And
Are you a vegan now?
No, not at all. and I'm still a foodie. So she took me out to lunch, and I said, Mommy, that lady cheated us. Now, what was great about my mother is that she looked at the bill, and guess what? She overcharged us 10 cents, which was really kind of a lot. It was
at the
more
time
than what it is now.
Yeah.
And they never said, stop lying, stop making up stories. They said, they listened to me. And then when I was 8 years old, I woke up in the middle of the night. Our house had been broken into 2 weeks before that, and the crawl space attic was in my closet. And I said, I saw this man at the foot of my bed, and I could see through him, and he was wearing rags. And he had this pouch, and he went like this, and all these gold lights like landed on me. And as they landed on me, they evaporated. And the next, I was scared to death. I put the blankets over my head. I said, Mommy, the burglars were here again last night. She goes, oh, no, honey, that was just a Sandman. I went, oh, there's a Sandman? Like, my parents were like amazing. They just let it roll.
But it was the robber, was it?
But were your parents? I mean, are you a belief that everyone has this?
Yes. Everybody has intuition. But if you don't believe you do, you won't understand it. You have to own it. You have to not even just believe it. You have to know it.
Can I go back to when you were 8?
Yeah.
Is it because you were a mathematical genius and you added it all up? Or is it because you just looked at it and you thought, not right?
No. I'm
You just
terrible
felt
with
it.
math.
Right, okay.
Oh, you're mathematically challenged, too.
I'm terrible. The last time I took math was geometry in 9th grade. I don't know how I got my college degree. I do have a college degree, but I was terrible in math. I had to take government twice, and then they called my mother and they said, Mrs. Margolis, you know what, Charlene is my phone. She's really very popular, and she really is loved by everybody, and she's done well in other classes. He said, so we're going to pass her anyway, otherwise she'll be here forever. And now I have best-selling books, so go figure.
Exactly.
So, part of the thing is you said essence is love.
Yes.
So how do we connect with that essence within ourselves?
Well, when we live with kindness, goodness, and compassion and forgiveness, it really helps us connect with our essence, because that's the way life is supposed to be, but that's not the way our government, our media is handling it. It's all about fear-based, and we call fear the 4-letter F word: false evidence appearing real. So
First time I've heard
That's
that.
very good.
I like that.
Who's this magical we? You made that up. I've never heard that either.
My niece went to a rehab place, and God, I hope she doesn't mind I said
It's okay, you've got a few nieces.
years ago, and they taught her that. So I always give credit where credit's due. But
It's good. It's a
I've
really
remembered
good one.
all this because I have the privilege of being in the public eye, so I can share all this knowledge with everybody and put it all together. So that my books are my children. When I kick the bucket, I've got something that I've left that will hopefully help people.
Can I take Sunny? Like if you happen to go like in the next year or two.
You're hilarious!
Oh my God.
You're hilarious.
Can I put myself down for
Yeah,
Sunny?
you're so funny. That's so funny because my best friend has a Chihuahua, and I would always, and he goes, and she's a psychic, and every time I go on an airplane, she goes, in case of, can I have Derby? And it was like, so, God forbid, but Derby's 17 and a half, and that's how I fell in love with his Chihuahua that I got mine.
So how do you think people can get to that space? I mean, do you have any sort of tips or?
First of all, the first true love is self-love. It doesn't mean you're selfish. It just means your needs matter. And you need to learn to love yourself. And a lot of people grew up in toxic environments and parents who, some were amazing, but some were not. And some verbally abused, some physically abused, sexually abused. So we need to get balanced within ourselves psychologically and emotionally. Once we're balanced like that, and we live in faith. Faith and hope are the most important things, I think, to grab onto, because when you live in fear, you don't know when you're being intuitive because you're always afraid. I was once going on an elevator, and I had a weird feeling about this guy, and he jumped on the elevator, and I pressed like 10, and 5 came on, and I jumped out, and he jumped out, and so then there was another elevator that I jumped into real quick, and I changed it because I just didn't have a good feeling about this guy. My gut told me. But if I went in every elevator being afraid every single second, I would never have been tipped off about how to protect myself. I mean, I don't know, but I kind of think like he was like crazy.
Yeah.
And so people need to live with confidence. I call it the 4 C's. You have to have the courage, confidence, commitment to conquer. The courage to own your power, that you're intuitive and that you're guided and that you're not alone. The confidence to own it and not be afraid to express yourself with it, because, everybody makes mistakes, but you don't know till you try. Commit yourself to really focusing on it, and then conquering it by which is the hardest part, is acting upon it. Like you get this gut feeling, or you're talking to somebody, you get this gut feeling, and you want to say it, but you're not brave enough, and then they bring it up, and they go, "Oh yeah, so and so," and you go, "Oh, you know what? I knew that. I just didn't say it."
So you feel people also have to speak their truth.
Absolutely,
Oh.
because
Absolutely.
in the truth we're freed.
I believe that.
Well, I believe that.
I mean, we had a show on secrets, lies, and betrayal and omission. That was a good one because a lot
Wow.
of people, I think, they hide behind the truth to just hide something. And I think, look, I'm an open book. I think everyone at this table, we're open books.
Yeah.
We're open books.
And we're empathic and intuitive. I mean, but everybody can be. And I know those terminologies are tossed around.
I want to bring something else up, though, that I think is really, really important that a lot of people don't understand. As in everyday life, there are good and bad people. In the spirit world, there are positive and negative energies. And whenever I do a reading, I've been doing this for 47 years, every single person I read for, I say a prayer of protection with beforehand. And not only that, I teach a lot of my people to put a white light around you and then go into a mirrored an egg and close it up. And the shell of the egg is a mirror. So anything dark or negative coming at you goes back to where it came from. And I really mean it. I go, anything in, near, around, or about me that is not of light, go back to where you came from and turn to light if you choose, but stay away from me. Acknowledge.
Yep.
You have to acknowledge it because there's good and bad. And the problem is with some people, like Ouija boards are not good.
I hate them.
Because it'll tell a kid 9 great things, and then that are really real and profound. And the 10th thing is they'll say, go build a bomb and blow up your school, and this is how you do it. So you got to be careful because there's trickster energies around. They try to trick all of us. And we are all protected, but we all are, it's like Swiss cheese. There's little holes that tricksters can get in to try to mess us up, which we always have to keep in check. All of us.
Do you believe in the dark force? You know what I mean? Like evil?
Yeah, I definitely think that, yeah.
It's like, yeah.
I believe some people that are guided by that.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say who.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, maybe
He
this
just
is,
happens to live in Washington, D.C. right now.
maybe this is off subject, but some people I've known, almost everyone I've known, has been visited at one point or another by the pressure on their chest and the hovering in between sleep and dream. They call it the old hag or whatever, sitting, you know.
Excuse me, no, I've never had an old hag.
I know,
I've
me
never had an
neither.
old hag either.
I've
Me
never
neither.
had an old hag.
But
Are you talking about a living person or a deceased
No,
person?
no, a
I'm
spirit.
just teasing.
Yeah.
You're talking,
I don't date old hags. Let me just get that
that's the
started.
point
I
I'm
know
getting
old
at.
hag
You're
for
talking
me.
about,
Is that like an
you're
incubus
talking
or a
about
succubus?
a negative force.
Yes, I
An
am.
unseen dark force.
Yes,
and they
they're
exist,
in
and you got
limbo,
to
right? When you're
right.
in limbo, they can come in.
Right. And when they're in limbo, and even when they're not in limbo, and you got to demand them to go away, they're not welcome there. Or if did you ever like freeze in your sleep?
Yes.
Yeah,
I have.
I've
I have. I've frozen my
horribly.
sleep.
Yeah. So
What does that mean?
Well, I don't like that feeling.
Me
And-
either.
And I do my prayers and I push that energy away because I think that that's something that's not a positive force for us.
Okay, but do you feel that some people out there are more prone to the dark energy coming to them because they're more wishy-washy and they're not focused on?
I feel that people who don't pray, who don't believe in a higher being or a divine energy, I feel like if they're atheists or negative, and I feel like they're more prone because they're not being protected. They're not protecting themselves.
I'm an atheist.
You know,
And I don't believe in God because I don't like the God that we're taught in school.
yeah.
And there aren't in.
But
I don't like that
But
God.
here's the thing, right? Well, I understand that, but do you pray? Do you have positive thoughts in your head?
Myself.
Okay, so here's what I always say. Like prayer is positive thinking. So positive attracts positive and brings positive results, and negative attracts negative and brings negative results. So positive thinking is prayer. You put it out into the universe. It doesn't mean that there's a man with a beard named God.
Good.
It means that there's a universal consciousness that has positive and negative energy in it that you want to only connect with the positive, because if you don't, it can take you in places you don't want to be.
I'd like to share a simpler way to think about this, if you don't mind.
No,
is
please.
The Toltec philosophy describes dark energies as being energies that enjoy feeding off of our fear and our anger.
Interesting.
That anger and fear have a vibration, just as love is a vibration. As soon as we think vibration of love, I can have the vibration of love. Once we recognize that when I'm angry or fearful, that this energy is attached to me and feeding, for lack of a better concept, this is the one they use, that it feeds off of us when we're in anger or in fear. The minute we're aware of this and think vibration of love, we can counter that. Now, their philosophy also has insidiously that they then send a more intelligent member of their species to then trick us back into anger or fear. But as we evolve and become, it's that awareness. The minute you're aware, the minute I'm aware that there's something dark or resonant of an old feeling, then I can change that instantly. And so the faster we're aware, the faster we're evolving. And that's what evolution is, I think. Does that resonate with what you're saying?
It makes sense, but it does make sense. But I don't give the dark side any power at all. I don't even say you exist. I don't say their names. I don't
No, I don't do that.
I don't
either.
give the
Just-
thought to them. I don't name them. I don't do anything. I just say, get away.
So what does she do about this hag that comes? What
Does
how-
it still
I've
come?
never had
You've not
this.
had a hag?
My
She didn't have
father,
it.
my father has it. They describe it. People that have had this is it feels like there's something on your chest, like
I've
you
heard
know,
about that.
Pressure?
lingering, like a pressure and then a bad energy where that's in the room. I've luckily not experienced that, but my dad did, and I had a couple friends who've experienced it. So
There was my roommate. I mean, she's my roommate now, and she used to have this recurrent dream that used to wake her up in fear of this dark, shrouded character, a person, no faceless, but always in dark with a dark energy, like visiting her.
Yeah, some
and she
people
would
get
wake up, and I'm
visited.
like, sister, go get cords cut, go do some spiritual cleansing. I don't know what you need to fucking do, but get that
But
shit
here's-
out of my house.
Here's the thing. No one and nothing can hurt you unless you give them the power to. Not a person, not a spirit, not anything. If you give somebody power, they'll take it over you. But I always say, what are you more afraid of a spirit coming into your room, or a real man coming in with a gun with a stocking over his head?
which is worse to be afraid of.
But there's something about
Well, what
setting.
I'm saying, the guy with the gun can kill you and shoot you. The spirit you can get rid of.
Right.
There's something about setting your intention, and just like Char was saying, how she says a prayer before, each reading you do, it's like setting your intention matters so much to your own well-being, setting your intention to have a good show, setting your intention to think positive thoughts or to talk to yourself even, it's such a power. And what I also want to comment on, and I praise you for, is there's such a power in forgiveness, isn't there? That somehow our society even thinks it's a weakness in some way, but there's such a power in kindness and forgiveness and the
Right,
willingness to
because
show
it's-
ourselves.
Because if we don't forgive, we hold that toxic
Absolutely.
energy within us. It doesn't mean you have to forget, but you can forgive and understand that the source, that where it happened and why it happened, and then either stay out of that person's way or, just remember that it happened, but don't linger with it. Just forgive them and move on. Life is too short.
Can I ask you this? This goes into soul, what you call soulmates in your book. With the four. What is it? The karmic.
Hold on, I got my notes.
The 4 C's.
The 4 C's: courage, confidence,
No,
commitment.
but I meant
honor.
the different soulmate types.
Oh, you said, okay, there's a part in your book that talks about relationships.
Okay.
And you go through family,
Right.
friends,
Right.
relationship intimacies, and then the truth about soulmates.
I'm
Right.
really interested
Okay,
in
so
that.
a soulmate is someone who helps our soul to grow.
Okay.
So there are romantic soulmates, but some people don't find the romantic soulmate in this lifetime. They just don't. They're pure one, but a lot of people do. I know I've got a couple clients who've been married twice and really ecstatic and happy, and they were lucky. The husband died young, and she loved him, and then the second husband's like an angel. So it just depends. But I believe that we keep reincarnating with the same groups of people and growing till we elevate till we complete our purpose with everybody and become energetically one with the universe. And so that when we're reincarnated, we judge when we cross over, we judge ourselves in God's eyes or the universe's eyes or whatever you want to call the higher power of wisdom and the universal knowledge. And then we go, well, I was good at this, but I was prejudiced against that. So they probably will make the person whoever is bigoted or prejudiced against something, well, they probably have to become what it is that they were prejudiced against so they can walk in those shoes the next time around. And they keep recycling us until we end up with the oneness of love and goodness and kindness and God is love, love is God. That's what my dad used to say.
So like soulmates, I mean, obviously I've heard of different kinds.
We have different
psychic
kinds.
soulmates.
I feel like Sonny's my soulmate.
Well, of course. And Sonny's adorable.
And he's unconditional love.
Which we all should strive for. I mean, unconditional love is freaking amazing. And once you
is,
feel
right?
it's this it's this euphoria that takes over. And I mean, people say to me if there's someone, whether it's connected with a friend, that's someone that I'm really like this unconditional love with a friendship or a relationship, we do, that energy exudes us.
Right.
And people have said to me like last week, oh my God, you look great. You look fabulous. Oh my God. And I'm the same person.
Right.
But it's that energy of starting in here.
Right.
Of that connection. So is there some ways to call in soulmates?
Well, when you were talking about intent and manifesting things, and I write about it in the book, like when you want to manifest romance in your life, you don't say, I want this person, because be careful what you ask for, you might get it, because that person might not be the right person for you. So you go, I want the person of the highest good that will feed my soul and I will feed theirs, and it will be unconditional love. That's all you ask for. And when you really want it and you manifest it, it is possible to attain it. But a lot of people have blocks up in romance.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I have in the past. So, we need to unblock that to allow those energies to come in so that we can experience that, because most people want to love and be loved. That's the bottom line.
Absolutely.
And I just read something that my sister sent me when Steve Jobs was on his deathbed. He said something about the 6 best doctors, and it wasn't the money, it wasn't the fame, it wasn't anything. When he was on his deathbed, it was the sunshine, love, kindness, goodness, and I can't remember all of them, but that's what really matters, because when we cross over to the other side, hey baby, we can't take it with us.
Oh no.
All we
Absolutely
take
not.
with us is the love.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be
Can I
buried
hear an
with
amen?
chocolate.
I want to
though.
hear RuPaul say, can I hear an amen?
Can I hear an amen? All right, hey. But let me just say, we're watching Between the Sheets here on United Broadcasting Network. Here on Facebook, you're watching us live. Our guest in studio is Char Margolis, and we have a newcomer to the table, Margie Duran. If you want to talk to us or talk to Char, it's 323-524-2599. Someone was going to ask a question on this side of the table.
No, I was just going to hope that we could open the door. It's super hot.
Oh,
in
it's
here.
super hot in here. Okay.
Should we put
And
the air
she's not even
conditioner
menopausal.
I thought she was going to ask some sort of
Psychic question, I
message
know.
from the 2 psychics in the room.
I know, we've got them all. I mean, we're talking about manifesting in alignment, and that sort of falls in. Karma and destiny.
on? Right.
What about that karma? And why doesn't it come when we need it to come?
Well,
Because some people in my
Here's-
life have gone through this whole
okay,
thing, and it's
but,
like, God,
you know,
Jesus.
what goes around comes around. Energy, so once you give it out, it comes back, whatever it is. Thoughts have power. Thoughts create reality. Thoughts are things. we don't always experience the karma in this lifetime. We don't always see it. That's where your faith comes in.
Right.
That's
It's coming
That's where your faith
tomorrow or
and your
in
hope
100
comes in.
years, right?
Yeah, you
And it
may
comes
not
back
believe in
on
God,
us.
but you're spiritual. You're spiritual. You're a spiritual being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I guess I am.
So what goes around comes around, and once you put energy out, you know, words are like stones. Once you throw them out, you can never take them back. Mm-hmm. So you have to be careful what you think, what you say, and our actions, because that when we live with a pure heart like that, that's when we know we're racking good karmic points. You know, it's very selfish. I just try to be really positive and good and healing and kind because I want to go to a good neighborhood when I get over there.
Well, me too.
I mean, that's what it matters to me.
Well, I do too. And, you know, you also talk about, you know, karma doesn't gratitude.
Right. Gratitude is so important.
So important.
It's not like, gimme, 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 I want this, I don't have this, I want. It's like, thank God. Like sometimes I'll just do a gratitude candle.
Oh,
And I'll write, thank you so much for all that I have.
wow.
And
But
I'm so
gratitude is
grateful. But I
important.
always go like, you know, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for my health. I'm
I'm
grateful
even
for
grateful
my friends.
But I'm even grateful for shit that happens. You know why? Because I know that it was meant to happen because there's a lesson I have to learn.
Right.
I mean, maybe not I'm grateful when it's happening, but at some point when you come out of
Right.
the ether and you can really sit there and visualize and understand, and sometimes that message doesn't come right away.
Right.
It comes a long time, and sometimes for me, things happen repetitively.
I get that. So a watch pot never boils. It's when you let go of it, right?
Right.
That the information comes, or you
Yeah.
ask for a sign and the license plate in front of you says, you know,
Right.
go
Yes.
for it. or
Yes.
whatever it is. It's when you're not trying anymore. It's like when you let go and let God and let it happen.
But I mean, a lot of us come up. I mean, I was raised Catholic, you know, and Catholic is very much seated in guilt.
Oh, I'm Jewish. So we're the same.
Oh, we're the same. Are you
We're
from
the
New York?
same. No, Michigan.
Close enough. Close enough. But it is. It's like, you know, we grow up with feelings of guilt.
Right.
Of you know, just, you know, or even when you were saying like that self-love. You know,
Right.
it's not an ego. You know, so I mean, I do find myself, and I'm sure all of us at this table, when we go to talk about our positive things, I downplay it. Because I'm like, oh my God, they're going to think I have a big ego, or
Right.
you know. So you downplay it, and then when people just talk to me, like especially about the podcast, when they come up and they, oh my God, you've done this, or that was wonderful, that show really
Right.
impacted me. I'm like, thank you
Right.
very much. You know, really, I get really like,
But it's nice to be humble.
it is nice to be humble,
But not ashamed.
but not ashamed. It's kind of like, oh God, the attention's
you gotta
on
get
me.
rid of the ashamed
But I'm thinking, how
part.
retarded are you? I mean, you have a show, you're not shy. You know, so why?
Right, but you should be happy that
I'm happy.
you're
This is-
touching people's lives.
I know, but it
and
is
you're
such a
healing.
responsibility, though. Sometimes.
Yeah, but you're healing, and that's all that matters. You're sharing the love.
This is Marianne Williamson's poem that she took from Nelson Mandela. You know, about not being afraid to shine. I sent it to you once.
Yes,
remember?
you did.
Yeah.
It got
We're
filed.
born to shine.
It got filed,
Right,
and
right.
other things I'll eventually read. You know, but I did read it, and I understand that. But I mean, you know, with guilt, you touched upon forgiveness. What do you really? What does it mean to forgive someone? Because I could sit there and go, you know, I forgive you, but there has to be an intent behind it. I mean, there has to be.
Well, it's the anger you're holding within yourself that's toxic that you want to get rid of.
Yeah,
And-
eventually it has nothing to do with the other person or
Right.
the big situation. It has
Right.
to come around to you again.
So in
Right.
essence, are you guys saying, like, when you get angry or you're reactive to a situation or a person, it really is that mirror? It's a mirror. Are you really reacting to something within yourself?
Well, I don't know. Do you want to answer that or what?
You know, when you're forgiving someone, when you're practicing forgiveness, it's not that you're maybe approving of what happened, but you also, it's about really forgiving yourself is what it comes down to. Because forgiving other people, as big as a step as that can be, you almost have to forgive yourself for either becoming that angry or becoming that becoming that way to where you let it upset you so much.
Or even
That makes
expecting
sense.
the other person to be different than they were. That's the ultimate forgiveness is letting go of the expectation that I had
That makes
that
sense.
other person, that Van Zanten woman and Eckhart Tolle's weekend made a beautiful
Jan
video
Van
about that.
Sant.
And anyway, this is what she said, is ultimately it's forgiving ourselves for expecting the other person to be any different than they were. And that once
so
we reach that
gorgeous.
level of forgiveness, we've really, truly forgiven. I just love her philosophy.
And
That's a beautiful.
But isn't it about acceptance? Because we're all not the same, and we're all going to have different personalities and stuff. So it's accepting them for who they are, them accepting you for who you
well,
are.
here's the deal. Like, you have to consider the source.
Okay.
You know, it's if somebody's getting divorced and you love the person, and then now they want to take, your arm and your leg and all your money or whatever. So, you have to consider the source and go, oh, okay, well, you have to realize that you were in love with somebody who maybe wasn't so amazing.
Yes.
Then, so you have to forgive yourself for understanding that, but not forgive yourself, just understand yourself that this is how you learned your lesson. And then you have to consider the source, because if they're lacking compassion, they're lacking, they're greedy, whatever it is, you consider the source and you go, okay, well, that's how they are. But what Michelle Obama says, when they go low, we go high.
Yes.
So
Now, you also have the 5 sources of power
right.
and how to manifest them.
Right.
Could you briefly talk about
Right.
each of the 5?
Well, I can't remember exactly what I wrote, but
I'll find it.
One of them
number
is having a good memory.
Exactly.
Number one is to get your intent out. What is it that you want to manifest? Be aware of it. Number 2, put it out there, and ask the universe to bring it to you. Number 3, be patient and confident that it's happening somewhere
coming.
out there.
Yeah.
Be patient and confident, and then patience, then confidence, then patience, and then 5 is to be grateful. Say, be grateful. Thank you for doing this. I can be patient. I'll wait till it comes if it's for my highest good.
Yeah.
But didn't you miss out 4?
What?
I
No,
don't
I
know.
said patience.
We're
Was
fine.
it? Get
Buy
discounts.
the book.
Buy the book and read it.
Buy the book and read it. It's actually a very good read.
Thank you.
Lovely colours, by the way.
Yeah,
really
they're
beautiful.
really. I mean,
love those two
That's
together.
all St. Martin's Press, my publisher. They do not buy a book unless every single person who works at that company reads it.
Seriously?
Every single person. It's a family, and I'm so grateful for them, and they've been so lovely and so wonderful to me. I can't even express how appreciative I am to them.
So how did this? I'm going to ask you one more question, but I'm sure everybody else has questions too. But about spirits and angels, how to benefit from their aid. So how do we call them in? And when we call them in, I mean, I do the angel cards, but
Oh, that's great.
every morning I do angel cards.
That's
and then
really
when I don't
great.
like it, if I don't like, I do 1, and then I go 2, and then I go 3, and then I go continue, and I keep going. And then when it always gets to the one that I don't like, I go, oh, forget it, we stop there. But
You're controlling it.
I am controlling
You're-
the angel card.
So you like to control things.
I am a control crazy
When-
person.
What sign are you?
Capricorn.
Oh.
Leo rising.
Oh.
Moon in Gemini.
And I'm a Leo.
Oh.
And my best friend from high school is Capricorn, and my assistant, who's like a daughter to me, is Capricorn.
I have dated. I am attracted to fire signs.
Right.
And I haven't been with that many partners.
Right.
But I've had 3 Leos, 1 Virgo,
Oh, wow.
and 1 Sag.
Oh, there you go.
So it's kind of like I'm not with them. But I mean, it's
That's okay.
It's,
You learned
I
from
learned
them,
from them, and I'm
and you
assuming
enjoyed them,
I
and-
did, and they're all just
All
interesting.
grew from it. and
Yeah.
Are you still friends with them?
All of them. I'm friends with all my exes.
That's amazing.
I
That's
work on
hard
it.
to beat.
But I work on it because you have to sit there and, I mean, for me, when you share something with someone and, and it's not infatuation, when you share that deeply, yes, there's a breakup, there's hurt, but, I'm always the one that comes to the table first.
That's so nice.
And and I say, hey, look, I screwed up too. This isn't like
Right.
your screw up. It's
Right.
our.
Right.
And it's usually because miscommunication has happened.
Usually miscommunication, and it takes a lot of work of compromise to be in a relationship. It's
it does.
hard.
It does. We have a caller.
Oh, you have a caller.
We have a caller. Hi, welcome to Between the Sheets. Who's calling? Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hi, who's this?
This is Shauna Rama.
Shauna, how are ya?
Shauna?
Are you watching the show or are you just
Hey.
calling in, baby?
I am watching the show and calling in.
What question do you want,
As I
sweetheart?
struggle to turn down the volume of my tablet.
So what would you like to? Would you like to ask Char a question? Anybody, any of us? What do you want to throw out as a topic? We're all here for you.
Well, first of all, I've missed you guys. I haven't been able to catch your show in a little while, Gaye, and I'm glad you're still doing it and doing very well.
You can catch it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You can catch all the shows on the YouTube channel. So
I try and catch a couple of replays as I can. Ladies, everybody looks wonderful. And I have so much I want to say. I took some notes, but now I'm in a different room. So I'll just try and touch on what you guys were just
Is
talking
it
about.
teleportation or?
Well, what you were just talking about was who Gayan is attracted to, right?
well,
How apropos that I call.
I guess so.
Dish the dirt. Come
I
on.
had no idea. She's my Facebook friend.
I'm a Sagittarius, by the way, a fire sign. And you guys were talking about soulmates, and I wasn't sure if you guys touched on twin flames at all. So what are your thoughts on twin flame connections, and is it something that's real? And in your opinion, and what is the difference between twin flame connection and soulmate? Soulmate hunters versus twin flamers.
Wow, that's a profound question.
That is. I'm not even going to touch it because
I'm
I have
out.
no idea. I'm out.
Okay.
Anybody?
So
Shah.
I mean, from what I have learned in my experience, and I don't know a lot about twin flames, but twin flames are you in a mirror, but you also see your positive and your negative. So they're not always easy, but when you're with the positive, you feel like you're one with them, and when the negative comes out, your negative comes out as a reflection as well. So it's kind of like a vortex. Everything's like magnified. So whereas a soulmate is, are you talking about a romantic soulmate?
Well, I guess we should probably try and pin it down into intimate relationships.
Okay, to intimate
because
relationship.
certainly
So-
soulmates and
so-
twin flame relationships
and-
can
and-
be
and-
non-intimate.
Right.
True.
And so a soulmate, though, besides is a soulmate, as I always say, helps your soul to grow, it's also where you complement each other in so many ways and you grow together in a different way than the twin flame. Because the twin flame is more intense.
Yeah.
I think it's more divinely related versus karmic.
Right.
Well, isn't it like the same? You share the same soul. I mean, it's like
A
'cause
twin flame?
A twin flame. It's kind of like there's one.
You know, I think you're probably right, and I just don't know enough
Yes.
about it.
I heard. Not that I
I
practice.
think you're right, and I think I don't know enough about it.
Cheryl, do you have anything to impart?
I would just say, Sean, romantically, yeah, a twin flame, whether it's romantic or just a friendship or an acquaintance, yeah, twin flames are definitely intense. They're
Right.
intense. There's an intense attraction. There's
Right.
so much they have in common. It's like the other half of me,
Right.
I mean, there's really, like you said, there's almost like two people creating one soul.
Right.
Where a soulmate connection, whether it's romantically or a friendship or employer,
Karmic or
karmic,
soul.
a soulmate is usually here to teach you lessons. And it's usually two individual souls, working together or coming together, for the purpose of unity. A lot of soulmates are here to teach us lessons, and we may not like those soulmates. They're either here for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So soulmates kind of come and go, or they may stay with you. But yeah, soulmates are a little bit more independently, where twin flames are more, I'm looking at the other half of me, so to speak, that feeling.
Yeah, and and that's why when the negative comes, it's like really intense, and when the positive comes, it's really euphoric.
Been there, done that. Been there, done that, and only one. I mean, I've had a lot of soulmates in my life, and I've recognized them. Yeah, I've experienced a twin flame,
but I think you're right when you said it. They're from one soul.
It's from one soul.
You're right. I think you're right.
And that is why, because it's the unification of the one of the soul just sort of conforming as one, that you get the explosivity, whether it's the euphoria or the negativity, because it's sort of like, it's kind of like magnets. You do a magnet, and some magnets come together, and then some are like,
right.
And
exactly.
but I mean,
that's a perfect analogy, Gaye. And in
why,
fact,
thank you,
I've
Shauna.
I've watched and read studies. It's a perfect analogy.
Well, thanks.
Wow.
Okay, I think we have another caller, sweetheart. Thank you for calling, and thanks for your question,
Shauna.
and
Bye,
keep watching.
Shauna.
Bye, Shauna.
A pleasure. Bye-bye, ladies.
Bye-bye.
Hello. I'm going to start Between the Sheets as a dating app. So, I'm working on that right now.
Are you?
No, I'm not. I wish I could.
Good idea.
Just an inspiration.
That's a good idea.
You're listening to your intuition.
I know. We have another caller. Hi, welcome to Between the Sheets. This is Gaye and the lovely ladies of Between the Sheets. Who's calling? Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, who's
Can
this?
you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Victoria,
Hi, Victoria. Where are you calling from?
New York.
Oh, one of my people. How are you?
I'd love to say well, but I'm not. I'm going through the divorce, and yeah.
So what would you like to discuss with us? Welcome to the table. We're your girlfriends tonight, so spill it.
I would like to know as far as settlement.
Oh, that's
Is
out
there
of my
anything
league.
that you see that I missed?
That's out of my league. I'll leave it to the two ladies at the table if they want to answer that question.
So Victoria, right? Hi, Victoria. Thank you so much for calling in. And let me just say, you are so brave. I mean, just to open your heart and be vulnerable, that takes a lot of power. It takes the courage. It takes the commitment, for you to act on it. And, you're taking an action step. So more power to you, for manifesting. And, I really sense that, I know you're feeling down, right? You're feeling down, kind of feeling stuck.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And what I'm hearing, from guidance is for you to either just pause, take a pause. I want you to step back. I want you to take a breath, breathe. It's almost about, giving yourself a hug and understanding where you are at this place in time, at this very moment. Because there's so much power right now that maybe, I know you're probably not sleeping right. Is that right? You're not getting a lot of sleep?
Yeah.
I feel that,
Absolutely.
and we want to get you grounded, because I think grounding is super important for you to manifest. I do feel like things work out for you, for your advantage. But I want to say it's just about slowing down. And if you can practice grounding, whether it's eating or sleeping or, listening to this show, because there's so much positivity and love coming to you right now, that, this too shall pass, you'll get through it. But I do feel like things sort out for you to where you're pleased with the outcome. Okay?
I have a question. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go.
Do you have a good lawyer?
Well, right. This one I have, I do like him.
Okay, because I
But,
feel like your lawyer's going to help bring things to help you. I'm just say yes or no to me, okay? Just say yes or no. Don't say the name. Is somebody involved in this, an R or B initial? Like a first or last name, or is it a lawyer? Is
No.
that or a middle name, or your husband, or anybody? No,
I can't think of anyone.
And the other
no.
thing I was getting, is there a J or M?
There is an M,
Is the M a male?
and female.
A female? Is she spelled M-A or M-I?
M-A,
M-A-R?
correct.
Like Mary or Margaret or Marcia?
Marianne.
Marianne, Mary. And who is this?
My soon-to-be ex-mother-in-law.
Your ex-mother-in-law. And is she trying to get in the way of all this?
She is in the way of all of this.
And-
She
and-
has
and
her
does
hand
she-
in it. Correct.
And is there money in her family that she gave to your husband?
Yes.
And they're trying to keep that money from you.
Yes.
Okay. So you need your lawyer to be shrewd and very aggressive to make sure that you get what is legally yours, because they're hiding money. She's got stuff in her name that's your husband's.
Yeah.
Okay. So you
Can't prove it. Can't prove it. That's the problem.
well, just keep trying, and just even if you call their bluff. Call their bluff. They don't know that you don't know. Because they're going to eventually want to settle out of court. But nobody wants to go to court. And you have to be really optimistic and really positive about all this, because this shall pass too, and like our friend said, it'll turn out okay down the road. There you go. I wish you well.
Thank you,
I'm sorry
Victoria.
you're going through all this.
We're sorry for you going through it, but thank you for calling in and being brave and joining the conversation. Our prayers and love and light are with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have another caller? God, this is cool. Hi, welcome to Between the Sheets. This is Gaye and the ladies. What's your name?
Hello, lovely ladies. It's Tucia.
Tucia, how are you? Tucia Lyman. She's an amazing, amazing film writer, producer. She's a friend of ours here at the table. She has a movie opening called Mom, March 13th, correct?
Yeah, you're right about that. First of all, I just wanted to say that this podcast is probably one of the most entertaining and profound broadcasts that there is.
Why, thank you. Can you,
It really is.
Can you produce my sizzle reel and then we can take it to television, please?
We got to talk, girl. We got to talk.
Well, thank you. That's an honor for you to say that, considering you're in the position that you're in. Thank you.
Yeah, recently my wife, or my I guess my soulmate, and I have we've been listening to different podcasts at night, instead of reading or watching TV, and we have found that Between the Sheets, it's pretty much impossible to fall asleep to. I mean, honestly, I'm telling you, we're either laughing our asses off, or we're like, oh, that's a good point. What's the 1 billion happy movement? What's that about?
Well, thank you. So why don't you tell us
We love
about your
it.
movie? Thank you. Why don't you tell us about the project?
Yeah, I'm coming out with a film called Mom, and that's the acronym for Mothers of Monsters. And it's about a mom who thinks her teenage son is a psychopath who could be plotting a school shooting.
Oh my
So it's super relevant theme. It's a psychological thriller, so it's also very dark. But you find out early on in the film that this kid has sort of outsmarted his therapist, and he's kind of slipped through the cracks of the system. So his mom sets up like an elaborate spy camera system in the house to figure out, could he just be a typical hormonal teenager, or, does he really have the capacity to hurt or kill someone?
Wow.
Good.
I don't even know of a movie like that I've never seen anything like that.
No, I haven't either. So
I
it
know.
opens on March 13th. What theaters or how wide is it going?
So it has a limited theatrical run on March 13th. That's in Hollywood, and that's at the Arena Cine Lounge Theater in Hollywood. And then it'll go on. It'll have a HD rollout, so it'll be on Amazon and different VOD platforms after that. But it runs at that theater from the 13th to the 22nd of March. So it opens Friday the 13th next week.
That's awesome.
Exciting.
What a shocking time that you opened.
That's funny.
Tell me about it. Oh my God, we're dying right now. It's like all the big studios are closing down. But you know what? Hey, maybe we'll be the only movie in the theater to watch.
Oh, that's awesome. And I have a little history with Tusia, which is very funny. My roommate, well, my girlfriend at the time, who's my roommate now, we're friends. She rescued a dog, and Tusia and her wife Wendy actually ended up adopting the dog, and still have the dog. And another funny
Love the dog.
And another funny connection is one of the people in my department that I work with is actually been in a long-term relationship with Tusia's brother.
How crazy
It is.
that?
How odd is that? So it really, I mean, like it is a small world.
6 degrees of
6 degrees of separation.
yeah.
And her wife Wendy is in a band. One of the bands is called Get Her Done, which is an amazing band. So I mean, it's just all this coming together. And I wanted Tusia to come to the table today, but she's busy with the movie rollout. So, but I do want you to come on at some point to just talk about what you do, Tusia, and sort of let people get to know a little bit side of you.
At
some point.
I'm a showrunner, so I work in television.
Well, so do I.
I showrun TV shows, and right now I'm doing a big series for A&E. It has not been announced to the trades yet, so I can't say what it is. But I basically kind of work in a man's world. You know, I work at a bunch of different production companies. It's sort of a boys' club, and I do try to hire as many women as possible. I mean, Dan, I don't know if I told you this, but almost every single crew member for my movie is a female. Like the script supervisor, the producer, the co-EPs, the wardrobe supervisor, production manager, every single department head was a woman.
Well, kudos
which was
to
really
you.
neat.
Wow.
You know what? I mean, I hope your publicist is doing a story on that and getting it out in the trades and stuff. And I'm not psychic, but I'm telling you, if someone should do that, because I think that'll bring more garner attention to your feature as well.
Yeah, I think they are. There was a couple different written interviews that came out, but I think they're going to do an interview. I'm doing a couple interviews next week, and one of them's supposed to be that angle, and the other one is the queer angle, because I'm out in Gaye, so it's queer filmmakers, and the kid who plays the teenage boy, Bailey Edwards, is out. You know, it's not about a gay kid, but there's a lot of queer undertones in it, and choices that we made for his backstory and all of that. So there's a couple different PR angles coming out next week.
And you have one of my dear, I would say friends, and you know in Hollywood, friends is in air quotes, but one of the first persons that I've worked with that actually was one of my mentors when I started in the television business with Ed Asner. And he also is in the thing. So I wish you much luck, sweetheart. Are you going to the party tomorrow?
I'm not, because I have all these interviews to do.
All right. Well, then I guess if I don't see you then, we'll have to go out, or I'll see you on the hiking trails, Wonder Women. So.
Yes, I will see you on the hiking trails for sure. And then, let's just chat about when I can actually come and be a guest on the show.
Yeah, I'd love for you to be in it, and you won't fall asleep in studio either. So there we go.
We should
I
have an
sleep 4
outing. Go
hours
see
a
a
night. I'm an
movie.
insomniac.
All right, love.
But I did want to say
Yeah.
you can that our website is mothersofmonsters.com, and you can get theater tickets for the opening at arenascreen.com.
Well, thank you for calling in.
That's the
You're the
theater.
best. You're the best. I love you and Wendy, and I hope to see you guys soon. And congratulations on the project.
All right, thanks, girl. Thanks, you guys.
Break
Have a
a
good
leg.
night.
Thank you.
Break a leg.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So there was something I was going to say before Tusia called in that was on the you know what? Okay. You do these reading things, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to do one for me real quick.
You mean read your mind?
Read my mind.
I don't do that.
Okay, I'm kidding. Tell me about my love, since obviously dating is playing a huge role now and I'm getting offers on the podcast. What's my love life?
You are getting offers.
What does my love life look like?
Well, you just need to be open about everybody, living and deceased, and don't say the name. But was there somebody that was an S or C initial that you were with, or K or C?
Yes.
Which letter?
But with?
Don't say the name.
With?
Yeah.
S, C, or K?
Yeah.
K.
Was it spelled K-A?
Yeah.
Kathy or Karen?
Can't
or
say the name,
Katie?
but you're close.
Well, then if you're not going to tell me, then
All right, I can-
did I say the name?
Yeah.
Okay. If I said the name,
Yes,
then
yes.
because otherwise I'm not going to read.
Okay.
You got to be.
I'm
you gotta
being
be
honest. Honest and open.
Okay.
Yes.
And was that one of the most recent ones you
Yes.
were with? Who was really special?
Yes.
And were you like hesitant about breaking off because you weren't
Yes.
sure if they were the right one or not?
Yes.
Did they break it off?
Yes.
Okay. I feel like that it wasn't the right one, and I feel like there's going to be somebody better coming to you, but I feel like you need to be on your own a little bit right now. I feel like you need to build your own life and do your work and do your podcast and do everything, and you need to date different people. And you like being with one person.
I do.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody likes being with one person. But
no,
I feel
I'm a
like
whore. I want everybody.
I feel like you need to really research and look.
Okay.
I don't mean to be rude, but I thought this was just an hour.
Hour and a half.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You want to leave?
No.
Okay.
I have plans, and so I didn't know.
We'll go quick.
No. I don't want to leave, but I didn't. I thought it was just an hour. But I do feel like there's going to be somebody else that's even more special, but you need to be on your own right now.
Yeah, I feel that.
Who's the M? Did you have someone deceased that's an M, like a grandmother?
Yeah, grandmother.
Don't say the name. Is she M-A-R?
Yes. Yes.
Like Mary?
Mary.
Marguerite?
No, it's Mary.
She's with you. She's watching over you. Okay, that's my readings for the
Thank you.
night.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. And let's get back to your book. The book is called The Universe is Calling You by Char Margolis. It's available everywhere.
Thank you.
And she's amazing. And
Thank you.
please call in 323-524-2599. I want to thank all of you. We're not done yet, but I do want to take the time to say thank you for listening, not falling asleep, and calling in and participating on the show. You talk about what is our purpose. What is our purpose? The ultimate gift we give to essence is ourselves.
Right. So, everybody, I have clients who say, what's my reason for living? What's my purpose? And everybody has a purpose. Like, we're reincarnated. Our soul, our soul is comprised of all the spirits we ever were from every lifetime, and we're here to. We decide we have a blueprint before we come down here. So, not everything in life is predestined. Only some things in life are predestined. But most things we create by the choices we make. And that's how we accrue our karma. So even if somebody predicts something or whatever, the future can change because of somebody else's choice or decision. So everyone has somebody's purpose, sole purpose could be to save a cat on the street. That could be their only purpose in life, or to save animals. Somebody else, like you're a healer. You're a natural healer, and that's one of your purposes on the earth. Plus you have souls that are in your life that you have unfinished business with to connect with. I mean, everybody has different purposes with different other souls, different other people that we have unfinished business that we have to complete. And then and some people have bigger jobs. Some people are surgeons and they're here to save lives. Some people are, psychiatrists, that can help balance people out. The one thing that I find in my practice, I have an older sister who's a doctor of psychology. And she does past life regression.
Oh.
And she takes us to our past lives.
Oh, that's so cool.
And what's interesting about what she does, and we work on cases together all the time, is, our mental health, medical, the mental health, whatever, is not good. The what do you call it? Mental health
system field.
Thank you.
In this country.
Yeah,
Nothing.
is it? When they say they're practicing medicine, they're practicing. They're trying it out, and I think it's so
all
many
medicine is.
people.
All medicine is a
So many
practice.
people really, like, if somebody is bipolar or have problems mentally, like, a lot of times what I find, and I'm not saying this happens to everybody, but I had a guy on my show named Gallagher. Do you remember that
Oh,
Dr. Gallagher?
Yeah.
And we were talking about, I was talking about good and evil and whatever. And some people who are chemically imbalanced have more of an opening to the dark side, to negative energies trying to ruin their lives, trying to destroy them. They're toxic. And so the most important thing is to be chemically balanced, psychologically balanced. And like I read for a lady today whose son is bipolar and doesn't want to be on medication. And it's so sad, and she had to let him go. She had to let him go on the streets. And when he was on his medication, he was great. But this is her baby. Yeah. She's got 3 boys, and this is her baby. And he doesn't want to get help, but he also hears voices. So yes, I'm not an expert in any of this, but I mean, well, I am in what I do, in the energetic world, in the psychic world, but I'm not a psychiatrist or psychologist. But when somebody's hearing voices, number one, yes, they can be schizophrenic. But number 2, they could be hearing demonic energies and spirits. Or number 3, could be hearing both.
Right.
And we don't, our mental health system just doesn't know enough about this to help people understand what's really going on. And some people who are psychic, like they used to put people in straitjackets who were psychic. They used to burn the witches at the stake who are psychic, because it's something that's unseen. It's unseen forces that we don't really have control over. I mean, or some people don't have control over. And so, back to my sister, like, she did something very interesting with me many years ago. Like, I've done many morning shows across the country, and I was on in Ohio, of all places, and I said, can my sister come on with me? So we go to Ohio, and so it's time to go to sleep, and so there's like 2 beds in the hotel room, and she says, "Do you want me to progress you to the future?" And I said, "Okay." She's my oldest sister,
All right?
right?
You can trust her.
I totally trust her, because she's regressed me to the past. But she said, "You want to progress to the future?" So this was right after the first attack on the World Trade Center, not the 9/11,
right?
But there was another attack
prior.
Prior,
Yeah.
2, I think.
Yeah, the underground.
The underground bomb one thing.
Right. So she says to me while I'm in this kind of semi-trance, you still know what you're saying, kind of, but you're in a trance. And she says to me, do you think the World Trade Center will be bombed again? And this was just her and me. It wasn't on tape or anything. And I said, yeah, I think it will be bombed again. The point I'm getting at is, it wasn't so much of me being psychic. It was my sister. Out of all the questions she could have asked me, why did she ask me, do you think the World Trade Center will be bombed again?
Right. I don't know.
She was psychic. She's psychic. My sister's like amazing.
Did she not know up until that point that she wasn't?
Well, no, but what I'm doing is I'm giving her the credit, because why would she ask me that question?
Right, of all questions.
All I had to say was yes or no.
That's true.
It's right.
Does she live in Los Angeles?
No, she's in Michigan.
Still, okay.
She's in Michigan, and I still live in Michigan part-time.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. And that's when we work on cases together, because she has said to me that I have helped save like at least 6 months of therapy with some of her patients. And I've had other psychiatrists, psychologists tell me that as well, because of the truth that comes through that I'm privileged to be able to do with my clients. So, I don't know. I just feel like there's so many people out there who are suffering, and who really need to learn to understand when they're hearing voices what's really going on.
Wow. And maybe in your book, The Universe is Calling You, some people might find that essence inside themselves rather than looking outside themselves.
That would be nice.
You know?
Yeah,
And
that would be so nice.
It would be amazing.
Yeah.
Now, you were saying, like, again, how to help departed loved ones find peace.
Right. So I talked about earlier, put yourself in a white light and then the mirrored egg.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, like when you go on an airplane, they say sorry for my back. They say
Put the mask on.
put your mask on before you put the person next to you. So the same thing goes for protection prayer. Put your white light in your egg and mirrored egg. But you also put your deceased loved ones in a white light and mirrored egg. And there are some deceased loved ones who don't go to the white light.
What?
They don't want to go to the white light. They want to stay earthbound.
Oh.
So a lot of times when they say houses are haunted or whatever, a lot of times those are earthbound spirits who haven't gone to the white light that want to stay. And I had one experience when I was doing a book tour years ago. I was in Oregon. I was at this hotel I'd never been to. And when you do book tours, it's grueling. It's so tiring. And you wake up early and do the Fox show, and then you go to bed late because you're doing book signings and you have to take an airplane and blah, blah, blah. It's like, so I had no sleep. And I'm somebody that needs at least 9 hours sleep to function. 8 maybe, but 10 is better.
Oh my goodness.
And I had like 4 hours sleep, but it was like in the middle of my sleep, and I'm in this hotel, and all of a sudden I wake up, and there's this man next to my bed that I could see through.
Oh, wow.
Just like when I was 8 years old and I saw the man but this was different. He was different. And I sat up in bed and I screamed. It scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And all this, he like looks at me, he turns around very like stiffly, walks through to the window, through the window, and out the window.
Oh, wow.
And I was like,
Wow.
I don't remember what room I was in. I was maybe in like 605 or something. So the next day, I said to the manager, is this place haunted? She goes, why do you ask that? And I said, well, I just wondered. And so after talking to some of the housekeepers and other people, 105, 205, 305, 405, 505, this guy keeps committing suicide. He keeps going through, he keeps going out the window.
Oh my gosh.
And it was so I prayed for him.
Right.
And I tried to lead him to the white light. I'm not sure I because I left. It really scared me. And so I prayed for him to go to the white light, because that's where your soul can go to really grow and elevate and heal. Because when we cross over, there's hospitals and there are schools and there's psychologists and psychiatrists and all kinds of places where we get help. Mm-hmm. So we're blessed when we go to that good neighborhood.
Right. The good neighborhood. We want to stay in the good neighborhood.
Right. Right.
So
It's
he was
important.
trapped then. He didn't realize that he was gone
that's
already.
a good way
Yeah.
to put it. He was trapped.
It reminds me of American Horror Story Hotel.
Right. Right.
They
exactly.
just kept going back and repeating.
I
But-
hope he gets there someday.
Yeah, well, I think I might have helped him. I'm not 100% sure, but I hope I did. But even your loved ones that have crossed over, and maybe they had unfinished business. Maybe they didn't get their wills together. Maybe they were on the outs with somebody, and there wasn't peace. Because like my dad always said, there's nothing more valuable in life than peace of mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Are we telling ghost stories?
Not yet, but hold on. Tony, someone says they're online waiting. Is that true? On the phone?
okay,
Yeah, let's take the
okay,
call.
Okay.
Hi, welcome to Between the Sheets. Who's calling?
Hey, I made it. This is Jonna Lee.
Hi, Jonna
Hi,
Lee. How
Jonna
are
Lee.
you?
Hey, I'm good. Okay, so I'm going to get right to it because I know that we don't have a whole lot of time. So my question is for Char, and it is that, and Gaye knows all this because she's my confidant, so she can plug her ears. Okay, so not too long ago, I met, or rather I was reunited with a past life soulmate, and the intensity of the connection was just so strong that it literally threw me into a Kundalini awakening.
Oh my goodness!
My energy vibration was raised at such an
Do you want to
intense
explain?
warp
Do you want to
speed.
explain what Kundalini is?
Well, basically, it's another level of spiritual awakening where at the kind of like the base of your spine, purportedly there is the divine feminine energy, kind of coiled like a snake, and there are different ways of accessing it. I actually was not even trying to. It's just that the connection was just so profound that I literally felt the vibration of this person from the top of my head down to my toes, like on a cellular level, like on a spiritual level, and it just thrust me into this.
Wow.
So in the middle of all this, I started channeling my twin flame. And I know this probably sounds absurd, but maybe not on this show.
No, not to us.
Not to us. We're good.
Not to
I
us.
started channeling my twin flame, and the more that I kind of relaxed into the energy of it, the more that I started experiencing, like I started hearing like this soul trying to literally speak to mine. It sounded like underwater. I have felt the sensation of being touched and caressed. I feel the surge of energy, like a very slow moving wave throughout my body. I can
Are
sense
you
things.
telling
I
me
can feel
that
emotions that
this
are not
is-
mine.
Hold on.
My question is,
Are you saying this
Yeah,
is
sure.
a spirit or a real person?
I have never met this person. I've never met this person, and my understanding of what's happening is that this awakening that I have experienced that has raised my vibration. I'm now more open and more in the state of wholeness, that it's kind of removed the barrier between that part of my soul that I thought was separate. So it's like I now feel very much tethered to my twin flame, and they're as real to me as this conversation as if somebody were standing with me. But my issue is, and not really an issue, but what I would like some guidance on is how I feel a bit like untethered, because the energy of this awakening kind of has me, I feel like I'm just floating off into 5D, like never to be seen or heard from again. So I want to know, how can I remain in this state of allowing, but also get more grounded? What can I do? Because I'm trying meditations and different things, and this is very intense.
This is a loaded question. Okay, so first of all, life is for the living, and and are you saying that you have no desire to meet a living person and bond with them?
No, I'm saying that my twin flame is alive and well in physical form. It's just someone that I have not physically met yet here.
But is it
And
somebody?
that's
Is
what
it someone you
channeling.
know of? I mean, do you know who they are? Is it like someone famous?
No, I don't. No, I don't know who they are.
So you don't.
I just know they're like me.
So you're calling in your
Somehow.
twin flame and you feel the energy, but you
Yes.
don't know who it is.
Yes, I believe I'm calling in, and another medium actually said this to me, that you're calling in the energy of your twin flame. The intensity of it is, it's beautiful, it's torturous, this whole experience. It's kind of like everything all in one.
Maybe you
And
should
it's
just try
bringing me into
finding a
this-
soulmate. I don't think
Yeah,
we've got good things with twin flames going on here, Johnny.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, but I don't think you want me to answer your question because it's going to ruin your whole party.
It sounds like an incubus
not at all.
or
I
a
don't look
succubus.
at it as right or wrong, good or bad. It just is.
I just feel like it's not a pure energy. It's something trying to control you and make you feel like it's your twin flame. Or I would not engage in any of that, because I feel like it can bring dark energies around you, and it will stop you from being open to having a real live person connection. And that's my answer. That's my answer. I know that it's upsetting to you, and I know it's not what you want to hear, but I have to be honest, and everybody here agrees.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't have any perception or I'm not judging it at all, you know?
Okay, but I feel that if you allowed yourself to be open to real romance and real finding somebody, you could find that experience in real life. Because if you can do it with your energy on your own, then you can do that with somebody else who's the right energy for you.
Right.
But I don't know.
It's just interesting because I haven't been looking for it. Like, I've actually just been focusing on me and evolving and doing what I need to do to be in alignment with my purpose and why I'm
that's
here.
all great,
and all of this is
that's all great, and that's all wonderful. But I would do the white light in the mirror deck that I talked about, and I would read my book.
Right.
If I were you, because I feel like you're being manipulated, and I don't feel that it's from a pure energy. That's my honest opinion. So does anyone here have anything else to say about it?
Anybody?
What did you say? What'd you call it?
Incubus or a succubus.
Yeah.
It's a male or female spirit that comes and gives you one, basically.
Right.
I don't know. I felt like when Jonalie was describing it, it was on a pleasurable level where if she could literally feel her twin flame or soulmate, it was like going to draw them closer because it was like bringing the manifestation.
No, because you don't do anything with somebody else without permission. You don't do a reading without somebody else's permission. You don't have sex with someone else without somebody's permission.
So because
you don't do anything like that without having permission from the other person.
Okay, so
ever.
Because
that's making me pissed off.
No. So because she's having
so she's drawing something in.
She's drawing something in
I see.
that she has no permission
and even
to
if
get.
I'm kind of pissed about the other psychic. What the other psychic told you.
What?
Because
about
not her.
Not you.
Not you.
Not you. You're not a psychic.
The girl on the
Jonalie.
phone.
What they told
Jonalie.
Jonalie.
Yeah, because they're telling you to have this relationship with somebody's else's spirit that's not even invited to the party.
Well, I am in a state of allowing because it is like what Mara mentioned.
No, but the other
feel
person
negative
doesn't
whatsoever.
know it. The other person doesn't know it. You don't do that. You don't do anything unless there's somebody else, and unless you're all on board. Not sex, not psychic readings, not anything.
So you don't believe it could be even quantum entanglement?
Look, anything's possible. I just don't feel like it's a positive thing for you. I feel like it's not a healing, positive thing for you.
So go out and get a Dairy Queen.
Okay.
But my feeling is that you've got so much going for you that you could find somebody like amazing to have this kind of relationship with in a physical form. It would be amazing because there might be spirits who go, wow, she's open to spirits and I'm earthbound and I'll just, get my jollies from this girl the rest of my life. And I'll make her think it's her soul. And I'll make her think it's her soulmate, her twin flame. And guess what? It's not.
Right.
It's
no,
not.
I'm going to be open to everything that you're saying because I've actually just been working on me. So
well, then
that's where I'm at.
That's great. So you live with the truth and you live with yourself, and that's the most important thing. But it's a fascinating story, and it's a fascinating question, and I really appreciate you wanting me to, I'm honored that you wanted my advice on that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Jonalie. All right, thank you.
Jonna.
Bye. Well, bye. Well, thank you, Char, for being on the show.
Are you kidding? This has been so much
You
fun.
can come back anytime you want.
1, 2, 3,
are so
4,
much fun.
5 new friends.
Well, you can come on any time because
Thank
you
you.
do realize all you do is I'm right on after you. You just have to move a seat over. You're always welcome to our table.
God bless you. Well, I'm honored, and thank you. I'll take you up on that. And you've been so kind about promoting my book.
Well,
because my book means so much to me because, like I said, that my books are my children, and it's something that I leave on the earth to try to help everybody.
Well, she's obviously not menopausal at all because she just gave birth to The Universe is Calling You. And so get this book. I mean, I actually, like I said, I didn't read it fully. I skimmed through it because I'm not even going to tell you guys what the hell my week was like. We'll leave it for another episode.
Okay.
But I do want to say thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm honored to be
Thank
here
you,
with
Margie
all of you
Duran.
guys.
Fascinating.
You will have to come
You
on
need
again.
to have Margie Duran on again. 'cause
Absolutely.
She's very smart with her healing. And
She's
I would love
amazing.
to hear more
I
about
just
it.
want her to be introduced on the show so everyone knows who she
I
is.
just feel like I was too much of a blabbermouth.
No.
Today it's all about you. Tomorrow,
thank
I don't
you.
know. Mara, thank you. As always, your
you.
insight, your intellect, your
Oh,
knowledge.
Yeah, Mara, you're really
thank
smart.
you. You're really smart.
You're
Cheryl,
really smart.
I'm so glad to
Guys,
have you back.
I'm
Cheryl,
so
you're
glad to be
lovely.
Are
back.
you going to be on the next show?
I will be on the next
All right, you
show.
will be on the next show.
Yeah.
Thank you again. It's so
You're
lovely to see
welcome.
your face and have you bring your healing energy to this table. Thank you. Cara, you
Gaye Ann.
atheist. What?
I want to say thank you for making up another new word, menopausal.
Plausible.
I love that one.
I am the queen of making up words. But we have 4 minutes, and I did want to address this because we had talked about fear, and I don't want to be one of those. Look, I work in the business, and I know that the news and all that stuff augment the situation just to create hysteria. And I do want to talk about the coronavirus
Let's
for a
do that.
moment, okay?
Yeah.
Because yes, it's around.
I brought my alcohol bottle.
I know you
today.
did.
I saw that.
You know, it is around.
Smart.
It is around. So we all have to be aware and cautious of it. Now, the reality is we're not all going to die by it. I mean, read the proper articles, not the bullshit on Facebook. Read the proper articles from the CDC. They put things out there. Most of the people who have died are people with weakened immune systems or
Right.
the elderly.
2%.
2%. More people die from the flu thing than they have from coronavirus. But I'm not saying don't take the necessary precautions.
And if you catch it, it can be just like a small cold.
It is.
apparently.
At its worst, a flu.
So every day the
But they don't have
newspapers are
any
people all
cure.
wrapped up in these plastics with masks on, and
That's
it's
just
crazy.
Big, that's just big
But they
business.
say that the older people whose immune systems, as you said,
Are compromised.
are compromised, and if they have diabetes or heart problems or something like or circulation, that's
Something's
or
gonna get
lung
them
problems,
anyway.
lung problems, pneumonia.
Right, and right now it just happens to be the coronavirus.
I thought there was no cure for this, so how do you get rid of it then?
It's a virus.
It's
It
a
will never
virus.
be
It's-
cure for
yeah.
a viral thing.
Viruses are
I
self-limiting.
think it's going to get worse
Okay.
before it gets better. But the thing that I think that our economy is going to have a real problem
Yes.
this year, big time.
But it already has. I mean, the
Yeah.
stocks have. I mean, everything.
But
because
it's you ain't seen it's a problem.
yeah, but things are being canceled and stuff like that. And again, I'm not
Yeah.
saying don't take it seriously. This is something obviously be taken seriously, but don't go crazy. Seriously. I mean, take the precaution. Take the thing. Do not buy the masks. I mean, but please just be aware and do not cause hysteria. Because that's what this country doesn't need. We have an asshole in the White House that causes enough hysteria, And then what just is going on, even with the Democratic Party, between Biden and Bernie. I am not a Bernie fan, and I don't care how many people write me. I do not like the guy, okay? And I'm very disappointed because I love Elizabeth Warren if she sides with him, because Bernie will fuck up this election the same way he did Hillary, because Hillary should have fucking been president right now. And that's probably the only thing I'm going to say that's political. But he, seriously, vote blue. No matter who the hell it is, whether you like them or not, vote blue, because we need to take over this White House. We need to help this country. We need to spread love, peace, kindness. We have a monster in this White House. And I
Get
still
rid of the guy in Kentucky. Get rid of that McConnell thing.
that Mitch
needs
McConnell,
to go.
that
He needs to go.
alcoholic, I mean,
Disgusting.
seriously,
He was one of the most disgusting human beings on the planet.
there is so much hate that this regime has created and bred and continues to feed. We don't need to do that. So please, when it's time, go out and vote, and vote with your conscience, and spread love. Work on yourself,
And live with the truth. You don't want somebody who's lying all the time.
exactly.
Oh goodness, no.
No, it's all about the truth. So with that political remark, and this probably be the only political thing I've said maybe in a month. It'll get better as we get closer. But seriously, go out. Be a good person. Be humble. Be honest. Be kind. Live in peace. Live your truth. Spread that, and everybody will suck it up. It's energy. It's the vibration. Let it just repercussion, because when you start with one, it will just keep growing and growing. And on that note, thank you for watching Between the Sheets tonight. Have a great 2 weeks. We'll see you back, whatever the third of that day is. I don't even know what the hell it is. I'm just really shitty. Just follow my podcast thing. But thank you again. Have a wonderful 2 weeks. Be safe. We love you. And namaste. Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.